Hi, everyone, and welcome. This talk is going to be about what diets and meds often don't address as a major factor in weight gain, which is emotional eating. Today, I'll be exploring how body image, self-worth, and past experiences can shape your relationship with food, and how GLP-1 can be an important tool for weight management, but can't rewrite old beliefs. I'm Suzanne Laurie. I'm a midlife coach, nutritional therapist, and specialist in emotional and binge eating. I combine 20 years of experience in the wellness industry with tools from positive psychology to help individuals break free from food guilt, body shame, and diet culture. You can find me online at Mother Flushing Midlife. So before we dive in, just a quick disclaimer. Everything I share in this presentation comes from my own personal experience working with many clients struggling with emotional and binge eating, as well as my training, research I've done, and collaboration with experts in the field. But I'm not a medical doctor, and this webinar isn't intended to replace medical advice. So please always consult your GP or healthcare provider before making changes to your treatment, medication, or overall health plan. This session is part 2 of a 3-part series on emotional eating that I've recorded for Medicspot. Today, I'm diving into how emotional eating, body image, and self-worth are deeply connected to our relationship with food, and often how much we eat. I'll explore where these patterns start, how they shape how and when we eat, and what it really takes to reclaim your body image and self-worth. If you've missed part 1, Beyond Willpower, it's already live on this channel, so please do go and have a look. Let's look at GLP-1's emotional eating and weight management then. GLP-1s can be a really effective and important tool for supporting weight loss. They can help reduce appetite, quiet food noise, balance blood sugar, and they can help you feel fuller faster. But they don't heal the emotional drivers behind eating, and they don't fix the past wounds that may have made food your comfort. Without mindset work and self-worth repair, those old patterns can be really hard to keep away, and they can quietly, insidiously return no matter what medication you're taking. But it's important to know that emotional eating isn't just about stress. We eat to soothe, distract, avoid, even punish ourselves, and it often stems from deep-rooted beliefs and past experiences, some of which we might not even connect to our eating habits. But if we want the best chance possible of maintaining long-term weight loss, even with GLP-1 support, we need to go deeper and start healing that relationship with food. And interestingly, we often assume that our body dissatisfaction comes from overeating. If we just ate less, then we would automatically love our body more. But the real story is often the reverse. We turn to emotional eating because we struggle with how we see and feel about our bodies. And then our negative body image can drive us to seek comfort in food, and that creates a cycle that is really hard to break. And body image isn't about how we actually look very often. It's about how we feel about how we look. And those feelings that come up, they're often very harsh, very critical, and shaped in old, outdated stories that we tell ourselves. In fact, many people see themselves as heavier than they really are. That research shows that over half of people with a healthy BMI believe they're overweight. That's how powerful these perceptions can be. What's more, even after significant weight loss, body dissatisfaction often sticks around. This tells us that body image is largely psychological. It's not just about the numbers on the scale or the reflection in the mirror. So how do you feel about your body? Consider pausing the video now just for a minute or two and take a moment to close your eyes and really picture how you see yourself. Notice what sensations come up in your body when you do this. What do you observe? And pay attention to the language you use in your thoughts. Is it kind? Is it critical? Somewhere in between? Now take a moment to reflect on these questions. What's the part of my body I struggle with most? What's my biggest fear or challenge when I think about my body? How does this mental image make me feel? And try to be really honest with yourself. Are you gentle or harsh in your self-talk? Take your time with this because this reflection is the first step to understanding your own relationship with your body. So where might it all have begun? Let's explore where our body image story might have started. Our beliefs about our body often start early. They can be shaped in childhood experiences, maybe messages that we've absorbed from family, society, and life events like trauma, bullying, puberty even, or media influence is a big one now. And many of these beliefs formed long before we even realized that they were taking root. So perhaps again, take a moment now to reflect on what your earliest memory of feeling not good enough in your body was. When did that start? You might be surprised what comes up for you and shifts into your conscious now that you're giving it space to do so. Let's look a little bit more at the role of trauma, because trauma, whether it's big or whether it's small, can deeply impact how we see ourselves. Even those small T traumas like a bit of teasing, dieting pressure, or rejection shape our relationship with food and our body. When we experience trauma, it's common to seek comfort in food because it works. It makes us feel better. But this often leads to distorted body image and internalized beliefs such as I'm not enough, my body is the problem. If I looked a certain way, I'd be more lovable. So understanding this chain from trauma to body image, self-worth, and eating behaviors is really key to starting to break free from the cycle we might have inadvertently been in for years. And eating your trauma isn't just about food. It's about the beliefs that chip away at your self-worth. These beliefs can make you reach for comfort or control through eating, to numb, to distract from emotional pain, or, as we said before, even to punish yourself through cycles of restriction, then binging, then the associated guilt. It's not just about what we're eating, as one wise person once said. It's what's eating us that actually matters. So again, take a moment, maybe pause the video and reflect on the experiences, maybe the people or cultural messages that have shaped how you see your body and relate to food today. What is really holding you back? There is a fairly obvious link between our body image and self-worth, but we rarely sit down and consider how that ripples through many parts of our life. For example, in relationships, it might cause withdrawal or tension because you feel unworthy of connection. In work or study, low confidence could stop you from speaking up or going for a promotion. Your health and well-being might suffer quietly through direct impact of overeating, but also from the associated stress and fatigue that brings. Even your finances can be affected. Think about extra spending on food or on diet products and services, that quick fix, or even cosmetic changes due to body shape. If this resonates, I'd really encourage you to take a moment now or later to recreate the wheel in this slide and reflect on how your eating habits impact each segment. Which areas feel most affected? Maybe jot those down in the graphic itself. Then think about what your life would look like if those impacts lifted. This is about uncovering what's truly holding you back and imagining the freedom on the other side of that. Beliefs that hold you back often act like invisible filters. They're usually formed long ago, shaping how you see yourself, your body, and what feels possible in life. But here's the catch. They are rarely facts. These feelings just seem true. So, for example, you might think, I was bullied because I was overweight, which leads to I binge because I was bullied. And then until that stops hurting, I can't change. That's a belief loop that is keeping you stuck. So if we break that down, yes, I was bullied and that hurt, but I don't have to carry those words forever. I can choose a new response from this point forward. You picture this as a loop of cause, effect, and belief. And right where you are now, there's a path forward. There's a new choice that could rewrite the next chapter of your story. So here's a simple but powerful exercise for you to try if this resonates with you. First, complete this sentence. I can't change my eating because, and finish the sentence however you normally would. You might have a few versions. For example, because I work full time and have 3 kids, or maybe I can't start dating again until I lose weight because no one will find me attractive. There's all kinds of sentences that we use like this. But now try this. Remove the word because and notice what's left. So, for example, I can't change my eating, or I can't start dating again until I lose weight. Then ask yourself, is that actually true? Or is this just a story that you're telling yourself to keep yourself safe? It may be challenging, but honestly, all these things are actually possible. So it's not fact. Ask yourself, is this belief a fact, a memory, or a way to try to keep myself safe? Who gave me this belief? And do you still want to hold on to it? That's the most important bit. Then try flipping it around. Because I work full time and have 3 kids, and now finish the sentence differently. I deserve to fuel myself, not punish myself. Or even though I weigh more than I would like to, I can date whenever I want to. And remember, you don't have to force a new story overnight. This is just about spotting the old ones and giving yourself a little more choice than before. Now let's talk about the inner saboteur, that part of you that quietly works against your own goals and success. Self-sabotage is not laziness or lack of willpower. It's a form of self-protection very often. And in weight loss, it can show up as skipping workouts, maybe binging in the evening, or quitting on a plan the moment it starts working. Why? Because change can feel really threatening, especially if you've linked weight loss to fear, to judgment, to failure in the past. Subconsciously, you could be thinking things like, if I change, I'll be more visible, and that's scary. Or if I lose weight and gain it back, I'll have failed. So maybe it's safer not to try too hard initially. Recognizing these patterns is the first step to rewriting the script. So how do we reclaim your body image and self-worth? Not by forcing yourself to love your body overnight, but by shifting that goal slightly. The body positivity movement tells you to love your body. But I know from experience, if you've spent years not loving it, maybe even hating it, that can feel absolutely impossible and too far away from where you are now. So why not switch it to body neutrality? That's a gentler path. It says your body doesn't have to be beautiful. You don't have to see it that way yet, but you can respect it still. You don't need to fake love and say affirmations in the mirror. You just need to start treating your body as worthy. That's it, full stop. So on the next slide, I'll show you some practices for small, doable ways to do just that. Shifting your mindset doesn't have to mean forcing fake positivity. It's about choosing a different lens, one that is rooted in respect and not shame. So instead of trying to love your stomach, notice what it does for you, like digesting your food and keeping you alive. Make it functional rather than aesthetic. And instead of chasing beauty in the mirror, try tuning in with the body scan to see how you feel. Move because it feels good, not because you have to earn food. Show up in photos as you are. No editing, no apology, no filters. And stop measuring your worth by your shape. Start recognizing what your body helps you to do every single day. As I said, this isn't about toxic positivity. It is practical self-respect, and it changes everything if you practice this consistently. So what else can you do? There is so much more that you can do to shift your body image from a battle to a partnership. Start with daily gratitude, not for how your body looks, but again, what it does. That might be breathing. It might be moving. It might be being able to hug your family. That's all worth noticing consciously and consistently. Cut down on mirror time. It's really important not to be criticizing consistently throughout the day. So if that means not looking for a while, Take time away from the mirror. And unfollow social media accounts that spark comparison instead of connection. So your feed should support your self-worth, not chip away at it. Then think about building your life around what matters to you, your values. Think about what they are, shifting focus away from your appearance. And remember, GLP-1s can help regulate hunger, but they won't heal the emotional patterns underneath. That's where deeper support needs to come in sometimes. So whether that's a coach, therapist, or a binge eating specialist, you don't have to do this alone. Seek support. Before we finish up, I'd really encourage you to take another moment for reflection and think about one small thing you can do this week to shift how you relate to your body. Something that says, I appreciate you, instead of you need to change. Write it down. Keep it with you, because big shifts always start with small, intentional steps. Remember, if the content of this talk resonates with you, you don't have to figure this out alone. If you're part of the Medicspot community, you've got access to weekly support emails, health coach check-ins, personalized guidance and progress tracking, a WhatsApp community for daily motivation and shared experiences. And if this talk did resonate, make sure to catch my next free talk for Medicspot live on the last Friday of July at 10 a.m. I'll be covering the importance of blood sugar balance for managing eating behaviors and weight management. You can also watch the first session of this series, Beyond Willpower, Common Habits and Triggers That Can Lead to Overeating, right here on this channel. And if you need additional help, please reach out to Medicspot at any time at help@medicspot.co.uk. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope to see you again next month.